Hey guys, I want to share a story with you about when the record label wined and dined me. Oh, this is going to make you laugh and hopefully inspire you. Let's go.
I spent the last 14 years playing over 1,000 shows, touring 22 different countries, and become a top 40 Billboard charting artist. I fired my record label to go out on my own as an independent artist to market and release my own music, selling thousands of albums and millions of streams. The question I always get is, how did I do it without a label and sell even more music? This podcast is here to show you the way. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my music business and a loyal fan base.
So, hey guys, it's almost Father's Day, and I'm picking some weeds out of my garden, and I got my tooth pulled a few days ago, so my mouth is a little sore, and just got to take it easy and make sure I don't get like a dry socket or any of that crap, and so I can't eat through a straw, and I eat a lot of smoothies and stuff, so I had to take a pause on that, and I'm getting a bridge installed in my mouth, which is going to suck, and it's also expensive, which is really frustrating, but just going to push forward on it. Life happens, and man, floss your teeth. That's all I'll say, man. It's amazing, actually, and it frustrates me because when I tour so much, I felt like I was the only one ever flossing their teeth. Definitely only flossing their teeth, let alone brushing their teeth. And I really made a effort to, take care of my teeth. I was in my, 30s, 20s, late 20s then. And, I've just had some issues with my teeth. I don't know if it's genetic or I just didn't take care of them enough when I was a kid. But, man, only floss the teeth you want to keep, okay? I'll just say that. Take care of your teeth because not only is it annoying, it's expensive, and you need it to sing, to have your teeth, or you need your mouth to sing, I should say. You don't need your teeth exactly. You probably have a really funny accent if you didn't have any teeth, though. But the reason for this podcast is I was just thinking maybe it was because of the stuff in Seattle that's going on with Chaz and just the riots and stuff like that. The label that I originally signed with was out of Seattle. And Seattle is actually a really cool city. One of my favorite restaurants there is a place called Thai Tom's. And I remember when I first signed with the label, it was Thai Tom's that they would take us to. It was this like little hippie joint and just some of the best Thai food ever. And, this is before they were wining and dining me. This was more when they were just like planning my release and, just kind of still being like nice to me. But I was definitely not a priority artist, and I was just with the A&R. Okay. And so this was, during my first like couple records. But then Japan happened. And that, I sold a ton of records, and so they tried to sign me, whatever. All that happened. Still never got the wining and dining experience until, I guess it was my fourth record with the label. And this is the one that blew up on radio in the U.S. And for whatever reason, I was down there, and my wife was with me, and we went out for dinner, or went out for lunch. We had a meeting, but then we went out for dinner, and the president came. And, he was buying his drinks and went to this fancy restaurant. And, it was really interesting, the way they treat you when you're making them money, straight up. Like the as much as the labels love the music, and I think, a lot of people that just love music start record labels and stuff. I do believe that. But at the end of the day, if you're not making money for them, like you're not going to stay. You know what I mean? Like I'll never forget the A&R telling me a long time ago when he needed to drop some artists and kind of go through it because I wanted to focus, and they came to my name a long time ago, and this is before I even was selling a lot of records, but he came to my name and was like, no, Manifest makes me money, go to the next one. And that's because they never really gave me an advance, and I worked my butt off touring. I always invested my own money into promoting my music. Like even when we had signed, right? Like we signed our rights away for 7 years to the record, but like we were just so entrepreneurial, like investing my own money, promoting, even though I wasn't, making it. Like I just wanted to be successful. I wanted to get my music out there. So I never just relied on the label. Like, yeah, I'd push them and ask them to do this, or are you doing that? Are you doing that? And, at the beginning, a lot of the times they weren't doing anything. And so that's why me and my wife and my team, we had to take matters into our own hands. And so long story short, they liked me because I made the money and I wasn't costing the money, and I was investing my own time and money and energy and wasn't complaining and being a little annoyance. I was just like, okay, how can we make this successful? How can I be successful? How can I be successful? That's kind of the attitude. So when we finally had success, they wined and dined us and took us out and all this stuff. And it was funny. I remember the record that was doing really well was called The Chase. And so they wanted to do a live in concert. And I remember the VP the president was getting all excited. Like, yeah, let's do like a Blu-ray and a CD and all this stuff and make it like really, really awesome. And, and he even brought out like the new Iron Man because it was like a double disc and said, yeah, we should do it like this and all this stuff. And everyone was like really excited. But then when later on, after they wined and dined us, after, we shot out all these ideas and dreamed, they realized that it would cost too much money to do a fancy CD DVD. And so they just did more of a basic one. But that didn't stop me and my wife and my team, because we had rights in Canada that we pressed our own special CD DVD, and we did like a gold foil stamp and did all this stuff. We didn't do a Blu-ray, but we still went way over the above on the packaging and spent more. And it just was like, if you looked at it compared to the one that the label did, it was completely different. And so even though the label can get excited and have all these dreams and ideas and stuff like that, it's normally the numbers that bring people back to reality sometimes, you know what I mean? And they don't take the risks. But this is where I want to encourage you, and obviously I don't want you to be stupid, but sometimes, when it's your art and making something really awesome, you want to take risks and, spend more money on a crazy music video or crazy art or crazy cover, because it's your art. And you're going to have it for years. You're going to be selling it for a lifetime. And so that's why it's worth the investment. Because I look at that record that, was the one that blew up and the reason they wined and dined me for the first place. Well, I got the rights back to that finally. I think now in 2017 I got it back because they had it for 7 long years. But now, because I put the effort into that record, I put all the money into it, I'm the one now that benefits for a lifetime off of that record. And so I want you to really think Perennial. Ryan Holiday has that amazing book called The Perennial Seller. And, maybe the reason why the label didn't want to invest is because maybe he knew back in his mind, like, look, if we go too crazy on this, we can only sell Manifest stuff for 7 years and then he gets it back. And so they probably thought in the back of their mind, like, they know that the music industry is all about the long game. And owning publishing and owning lots of masters and making the money over the years and years and years. And I didn't know this, going into this game, or else, I would have made different decisions at the beginning of my career, And I'm now 40, going to be turning 41 soon. And, I want to make some new records and do some new things. And, I got to think to myself, I want to still make really great art, because that's going to keep selling when I'm 50 and when I'm 60. And I'm honestly I don't know if I'm going to kind of call this the Johnny Cash method, but I look at Johnny Cash, I look at his marketing, I look at his stuff, and I really appreciate it. And it just makes me think, even when someone's not here or when they're old, people still continue to buy stuff. And I look at that as one of my songs that's over a decade old that continues to sell. We're coming up on the 10 years as I'm recording this. And so for that album, The Chase, that blew up in the U.S., well, guess what I can do this year? I can do a big 10-year anniversary, which is what we're thinking of doing if we can get organized and plan it well enough and do a big launch on that and re-promote something and make more sales on it. And so if the labels aren't whining and dining you and chasing after you, it's probably because, you're not making them a ton of money. And I remember that the reason they wined and dined me that night, and kind of bringing this podcast full circle, is because the deal I signed for that record was just a 1-record deal. And I remember him saying in the A&R meeting, because that record did so well, it did over 50,000 records at the time. It's done way over that now if you count all the streams and everything like that. It's probably done close to 100,000, I would think, worldwide. But I'd only signed a 1 deal, and so they were trying to woo me. And I remember him saying at the time, oh yeah, man, we now believe that you're the type of artist that can sell 100,000 records. I'll never forget him saying that. Yeah, you're the type of band that can sell 100,000 records. It's like, dude, why didn't you believe in me before? You know what I mean? Where was the belief before, bro? And now all of a sudden you're dropping it. Anyways, we did end up re-signing with them which was one of the biggest mistakes that I ever made. And I'll share that in the next podcast episode, and what happened when they put the next offer on the table and why my wife was like, no. But I'll save that for the next episode. I want to remind you that a fighter isn't someone who never fails. A fighter is someone who never quits. Don't give up on your dreams. You need coaching. You want to work with me one-on-one, go to fanbaseuniversity.com.
So if you're a struggling artist and you're just trying to figure out this music industry, you want to go full-time with your music, you want to get noticed on social media, or learn how to launch an album, an EP, or just get your music more marketed out there, I want to encourage you to check out my coaching program called Fanbase University. Every single month, I jump on the phone 2 times with my students and I coach them and I teach them how to market their music, how to get noticed, how to handle booking agents, record labels, and just get their music out there. Also, you get access to exclusive training, you get interviews with music industry professionals. If you want to find out more and not do this on your own, not struggle, because I've wasted thousands of dollars on my career and now I want to coach other artists, check out my program, fanbaseuniversity.com, or click the link below to find out more info.